Hello everyone, this is an example of a one-sample T interval, the matched pairs version. So here's the scenario. In a manufacture of golf balls, two procedures are used. Method 1 utilizes a liquid center and Method 2 a solid center. To compare the distance obtained using both types of balls, 12 golfers are allowed to drive a ball of each type, and the length of the drive in yards is measured. The manufacturer wants to estimate the mean difference with a 90% confidence. So in my list, I put the liquid in list 1 and the solid in list 2, and then I use the L1 minus L2 to populate my list 3. So that's where all the difference is going to be. The next step would be to go to the stat menu and calculate all of our statistics for list 3. And you can see what we wind up getting there. So my X bar is going to be 9.52. My standard deviation of the sample is 3.12 with a sample size of 12 and a degree of freedom of 11. My assumptions are, this is not an SRS, this is an experiment, so we can say data is gathered via a controlled experiment. We're going to assume that it was done with the proper randomization was involved and everything. Okay, we need to check to see whether this is normal. So if I go to my stat plot and I do zoom number 9 on my list, you can see that I have a nice clean box plot there. So based off of that, we can say box plot is symmetric. With no outliers. So we can assume distribution is approximately normal. Okay, and then finally sigma is unknown. Based on those three conditions, we are going to perform a one-sample T interval matched pairs addition. Alright, so we need to, our T formula for that is going to be 9.52 plus or minus. We need to find our T star. I'm going to look and find that in just a second. But for right now, I'll go ahead and fill in my standard deviation, 3.12, divided by the square root of 12. Now, there's two ways that you can find your T star. The first and easiest way would be to go to your textbook or to the pink book, and we're doing a 90% confidence interval. So here's 90%. And then we're going to find a degree of freedom of 11. So if I trace that up, here's the degree of freedom 11, and the 90% is right there. So 1.796 is the number that I need to remember. So I can put that in for my T star value, 1.796. Another option is you can use your calculator to figure that out by doing inverse T. So I go to distributions and do inverse T. And this is going to be the area, since I'm doing a 90% confidence interval, the area for the inverse T calculation will be 0.95. And I need to put in a degree of freedom of 11. And let the calculator think for a minute, and there is the same number, 1.796. So here's my formula. Now I'm ready to actually calculate the interval. So I go to tests, and then I'll go down to my T interval. Oh, I hit the wrong interval, so let's try that again. Stat, tests, and t-interval number 8. There he is. All my list is in my data is in my list. List 3. I want a confidence level of 90%. Hit enter. Let it think for a minute, and then there is my interval. So 7.899 to 11.134. So then the final step would be to make a conclusion. So we would say we are 90% confident that the true mean difference in drive length of golf balls I need to tell what order I did things in. So liquid minus solid centers is between 7.899 and 11.134 yards. And that's it. So that is a one sample t-interval, the matched pairs version. And hopefully you have good notes. And if you have any questions, I will see you tomorrow.